And that's 3, 2, 1, and we're live. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Download the Uplift. My name is Gabriel Mark, here live, coming from the Lone Star State, joined as always by my co-host with the most toast, Dane Davis.
What's up, man? How you doing?
What's up, brother? I just want to let the audience know that we are working on getting the sound effect loaded into our interface. You know, it's a very complicated operation here at DTU.
Yeah, very complicated device. And if you remember last episode, it was talked about a lot. We got to get the air horn going on.
Yes, we do. Speaking, by the way, I want to note that this is Download the Uplift, a place where when we fall, Dane and I, guests, our dogs, our whole universe, we try and uplift you. So, like you mentioned last week, we just want to say that we're coming off of a 2-parter week. You had back-to-back cut in half crazy interview action with Ken Parlee, and we just wanted to say a huge thank you to Ken for joining us. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was awesome. We talked about so many different aspects of like real estate and stuff like that. It's weird, like when you're doing the interview, I don't think you like register absolutely everything that's being said. Like I don't mean you've talked about that doing like the podcast one-on-one. It's like we got to go back and rewatch that to really get everything.
Yeah,
but it was awesome. It was awesome.
Well, we were so in depth with that conversation that I think it was going smoothly, but then like towards the end, we're like, yo, I think we're at like almost 3 hours. And Ken or you came up with the idea. It's like, dude, let's do a 2-parter because listen, the top podcast in the world, and it's Joe Rogan. It's literally the creme de la creme of podcasts. he puts them out a couple a week, but his latest one was 2 hours and 43 minutes. And like, I have it on going to the grocery store. I have it on like doing some meal prep and stuff. But even still, I didn't get through the whole thing. Like to commit to that much time of anything, whether it's a podcast, a movie, whatever, it's a lot.
Yeah, no, for sure. And every time I'm on YouTube, you know, I'll always like check out a video and I'm like, how long is that? Like, how long do I have to watch this?
Yeah.
So it's definitely a commitment.
A commitment. Well, we talked about that too. And I'm sure, comment down below, what's your threshold for YouTube videos? Because I know the solo ones, I keep around 10 minutes. I try and get a quick point across while keeping it light and loose in 10 minutes. I think that's a good sweet spot. At least it is for me. Like when I'm on YouTube, like Dane mentioned this, it's so true. Like if it's 20 minutes or something, like, well, at that point I might need to get like, you know, a snack. I might need to get something out of the fridge. I might need to like kind of prepare, like to settle in to watch it. What's your number, Dane?
You know, I'll do 10 minutes pretty easy. And then like 30 minutes is a decent watch for me. I'll like, unless I need to be somewhere or I need to get something done, I'll be like, yeah, okay, I got 30 minutes. You know, a regular like run of show for like any TV show out there, right? But yeah, if it's a couple hours, I do the hour-long videos like when I'm gonna fall asleep. It's usually like a live stream or some like gaming thing with like, you know, Dark Souls or something like that.
Dude, I don't even know what Dark Souls is. What's Dark Souls?
Oh my God.
Talk to me like I'm a Dark Souls.
Dark Souls or Bloodborne. You haven't heard of any of those?
You look at this stuff before you go to bed? Like before it goes, you go night-night?
Oh, yeah. Medieval and vampires. Or no, werewolves.
All right, I'm just going to...
And aliens.
We're looking at this right now. Dark Souls. So what is this thing? A game?
Yeah.
Dude, look at this. You look at this, dude, before you go to night-night. Listen, if you're watching on Spotify or YouTube, it's like this crazy armor-looking, scary-looking dude with a sword. Like, he looks cool. It looks like a knight that went through, like, hell or something.
Oh, yeah. Dude, I mean, you love Game of
Wow.
Thrones, right? So
Yeah.
you love that game. It's got dragons and all kinds of stuff in it.
I still haven't seen a single episode of House of the
House of
Dragon, but
Dragon.
apparently it's pretty good. I don't know.
Oh, well, maybe you just don't like dragons, huh?
Nah, I'm cool with dragons, man. You kidding me? My real that see, if I was a real badass when I changed my name to Jon Snow, I would have gone full geek and gone Aegon Targaryen.
Mm,
Like then, like only the real ones would have known because I felt like only the real ones knew about Jon Snow. But if you knew about Aegon Targaryen, hey,
the real ones, like most of the population, because it's a popular show.
I know it really is. I can't believe they did that show so dirty.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
what are you gonna do?
Watch House of Dragons. That's all you can do.
I will. I think this is a good strategy though. Like I'm gonna be like all those late to Game of Thrones people, and I'm gonna just bang it out because I'll rewatch 1 and 2. But that's a good session. Like that'll be
Oh
like
yeah.
okay, instead of just an hour, then you gotta wait the week. But that's just where we are with like pop culture in general. Our TikTok branded TikTok type minds where it's like, I need more. Like I'm that I will be on X on my phone watching YouTube while like also,
Yeah,
eating or something. It's horrible.
yeah. Multitasking content. I've done that. Like if I'm learning something as well, like quote unquote learning, because I'm not paying full attention to it. But yeah, I'll full on like listen to some tutorial or whatever, and then at the same time, like I'm on the phone or just browsing Facebook or whatever as well. Sometimes I'm learning two different things at once, and it's not good.
Well, I don't know. Maybe your brain is actually getting it all, like somehow absorbing all of it. I don't know.
Yeah, a little bit. Like you'll get something out of it, but is it that efficient? Like I'm starting to really try focus up a bit more on the things that I'm learning, like actually like write things down, take notes and stuff like that, because it's like I've learned stuff and then had to go back like a year later and relearn it. And so I just think sometimes you might be wasting your time just doing the sort of secondhand learning type thing. But I like doing it anyway. Yeah.
YouTube University. It's wild. Some of the stuff that people like, God bless them, but like the most obscure things, they'll be like, I think I should film this and put it on YouTube. Like, I'm trying to think like how to change. Like, I bought this little 2003 Chevy Cavalier thing was awesome for like $1,300, but like it's a long story, but it was awesome.
Yeah,
But
Chevy Cavaliers are nice. I like them.
it was a cool little car, man.
Yeah.
I named it Cold Trickle. If you haven't seen Days of Thunder, you're slacking and you should go watch it right now. As soon as this episode's over, actually. But like there was like a clicking noise in the AC, and sure enough, YouTube University clicking noise in Chevy Cavalier. Some dude had like an in-depth how to fix it, and so it's the whole sharing of knowledge and entertainment on YouTube really is a cool freaking thing.
Oh yeah, yeah. And you'll get most things, but what I always say to people, like like if they're trying to get into something that they know very little about, it's like when you're dealing with very new technology or things that aren't really that popular, that are still useful or whatever, or like the bleeding edge of technology or whatever it is, like you're gonna get way less support on all that stuff. So well, once you get, I've gone there, like when 3D printing first became like popularized, it's like there was no videos on 3D printing, and now it's everywhere. So yeah, it can be difficult, but most things are on there, so it's nice.
We need to label that, like, because every week he has a new phrase, my lovely co-host, and we're gonna get to why he's so lovely in a second. But like he always either has a really cool like phrase or like a new vocabulary. The bleeding edge of thinking. Is that what you said? Like the cutting edge?
Bleeding edge technology.
Bleeding edge. Well,
Yeah.
what's that mean? Why is it bleeding? Because it cut you? Cutting edge?
It's just it's basically like very new technology it hasn't really been tested or whatever. Like any new software that comes out, any new kind of thing that's like advancing technology and stuff like that, that's where you don't get the support. That's where you have all the people like, trying to figure all that stuff out by themselves, basically. And then eventually you'll get all the videos coming through.
Comment down below if you've heard the phrase bleeding edge before. Give a little blood droplet or a knife emoji.
Violent.
And just stand with my co-host Dane. And one of the things that makes him so fantastic is how handsome he is. And if you're watching on YouTube or Spotify, you'll notice that my man went full GQ, and he went to when he was like on rock posters and touring and shit. He is jet black hair right now.
Oh, yeah.
And dude, I swear on our friendship, like you know me, I don't like false compliments. Dude, it looks awesome. I'm like I have black hair, but because I'm 39, there's starting some grays creeping in. Dude, that looks gnarly. So
thanks, man. I
black
appreciate it.
Long hair from Dane Davis.
The thing about me is like once every couple of years, I like to dye my hair, cut it, and I'll flip looks like out of nowhere. But for the most part, I look very just casual. So this is me like trying to be like, yeah, let me try a little bit.
I like it. It's cool. Did you didn't like do some Just for Men or Manic Panic or something? Did you go to somebody?
Yeah, no, I went to a salon. There's a girl that me, my family, and basically all our friends go to. She's actually moving out of the state, so we'll have to find someone else. But yeah, we go to her for everything.
What's her name?
Her name's Mariah. And a bunch of musicians in Vegas know her because she's a Vegas musician as well. So,
I think I met her. Right? Was she at your parties? Oh yeah, she's cool, man. That's awesome. Shout out Mariah. Well, tag. Well, you're leaving at the salon, or maybe we'll put it down below or something. I don't know,
but she's still gonna be doing some stuff in Vegas. She does some shows called the show that she's doing in August is called the Honey Pot. It's basically like a charity / like showcase of different artists and stuff like that. I think it's all female artists. So yeah, she'll still be coming back and doing that. So
cool.
There's a plug. Our
plug.
Two viewers.
Dude, did you change your thing? Because my title this week is website reader. Did you change yours to web browser, or was that from last week's?
No. So I kept it on pen pusher. I saw your title and I was like, all right, here we go. Web browser.
This week, I'm a website reader and he's a web browser for our I know you guys were following along with our new jobs every week. But yeah, I just want to go back real quick. Yeah, so we said thank you to Ken P. He's a man. He is a man, but he also is the man. Yeah. And so we broke it down. That's a lot of info. It was a lot to the point where like when we interviewed Johnny, it was a dude that literally we hung out with or still hang out with if I live there all the time. Ken, this was new because you didn't know our guest. So it was a whole different vibe. Once again,
it was great to meet him though. Like I felt like it was, super just natural. We got right into it.
Mm-hmm.
It was awesome.
Yeah. And he hit me up. I kind of checking in. I was like, dude, I've listened to it just to make sure the sound is good. It's good, but it's a lot. So I'm going to be cutting through that right now. When you're listening to this, it's been, I don't know, a couple weeks, but yeah, we're back. Just me and Dane right now. We're working on other guests coming up next. Like I said, usually around every month. I got a couple people. He's got a couple people that really would be fun to talk to. Like Mariah would probably be awesome to have on. Be like, what kind of cool clients did you have? See, the good thing about things like StreamYard is that all you need is a Wi-Fi connection, and honestly, you could do it with your laptop mic. Like we just are just professional podcasters, so we have professional setups. Like really, so.
We try to have those professional setups all the time, but I was thinking about it'd be cool to get her on because she's in a lot of ways she is an entrepreneur, right? She's got bands that she's been in, she's got her clients with her hair, and then she also is doing shows now, so she's like really, starting a bunch of stuff. It'd be cool to get a take on that.
Oh heck yeah. I would love to learn about that. Just dude, everything. If we know a guy that fixes tennis rackets, let's get him on there. It's not just because we want, like, if you're interesting, I want to talk to you, or we want to talk to you, basically. This is official Download the Uplift call out. Are you interesting? Hit us up. Download the Uplift at Gmail, and we'll talk, and we'll get you on the podcast. We'd love to talk to you. You're Download the Uplift.
Yeah, dude, that'd be interesting if we just had a random person go, "Hey, like, this is what I do," and then let's talk with them. Yeah.
Do you make baskets and you go to craft fairs every week? Guess what? We want to talk to you. So download the Uplift at Gmail. Yo, so I wanted to bring this up last week, but I was kind of focused on Ken and everything. Did you know, first of all, that Mad Max, they made Mad Max back in the 80s? I think it wasn't with Mel Gibson, was it? Like the 80s? Oh, it was.
Yeah, it was Mel Gibson.
He was just a young, like,
he was the original
post-apocalyptic. Okay, all right. I knew I wasn't crazy. But then they remade it with Tom Hardy and Charlize Theron in freaking 2015, which is a fantastic film. If that's right, film. I'm so like up there, advanced wise. But
motion picture.
Even dude, that's even crazier. But they crushed that movie, like, including the original bad guy with like that's into milk and whatever, the crazy hair guy. What's the guy?
What's
his name? Look at this dude, crazy looking. Immortan Joe. You know what's crazy? You just mentioned that. I forgot his whole like badness was he controlled water. Remember the movie Waterworld? He's like, come on, man, could I get some hydro? It's like, no. You need water. It's not like booze, like you get off on it. Like,
well, it's funny, like all those post-apocalyptic movies, like the old ones, Mad Max, Waterworld included. It's like water is a huge one. Land in Waterworld was a huge one, but in both movies, gas was like huge. Oil.
Oh yeah.
You remember the smokers?
Dude,
people with cigarettes, like the bad guys.
Smokers.
Yeah.
Who knew that? That was Mr. Dutton? Was that who Waterworld was? Kevin Costner?
Yeah. I think so.
Yeah, it is, because he goes, you don't have anything else. You're dying. Yeah, he was it. Yeah, that's Mr. Dutton. I don't even know. You haven't even seen Yellowstone, huh?
No, I have. I've watched like 3 episodes.
Dude, it's like top tier for me. It's up there with like Sopranos, Entourage, Game of Thrones. I love that show.
Dude, every show takes me a while to get into. So I eventually will get through Yellowstone, but I'm on The Boys. I'm on House of the Dragons. I'm on, hopefully, the next season of Invincible.
Haven't messed with that. I'm going to put the little note right now. Check out Invincible.
Dude. Invincible is like, it's basically like The Boys. It's this cartoon, like superhero thing, but everything's just messed up. It's really good, though.
Come on, man. You have so much time. Watch more shows.
Yeah. I just got off work. We're doing the podcast, and right after this, I'm gonna do another job.
This is the first time I've actually felt like a time crunch. It's kind of cool, but it's weird how we just kind of hop right into it now. Me and you, we're like freaking season pros. This is episode. Well, it's episode 12. It's episode 12, even though last one's episode 11. So this is our 3-month anniversary. Celebrate good times. Come on.
Yeah, man. It's coming along good.
I agree. It really is. And the reason I brought this up, the whole Mad Max thing, is two reasons. Number one, the new one came out with the girl from the Queen's Gambit and Thor. What's it called? Furioso. And I thought it was already was still to come out in a couple months. I guess it came out like in June. So I'm way behind. I haven't checked it out yet.
Yeah, I watched it.
Oh, you said part 2. I didn't know what you were talking about. Oh, that's what you saw?
Yeah, Furiosa.
Is it just as good?
Yeah. In fact, I'm gonna say this: the story was better than the first one. Visuals were great in the first one. They're great in this one too, but you didn't have, as spoiler alert, I guess.
No, don't. I don't want to know. Don't tell me. I
Okay,
literally.
yeah. All right. Well, I was mainly talking about people watching it, but
Okay, here, go ahead. You say it, and I'm literally say it to the audience. Say spoiler.
No. I don't want to spoil it for anyone. We're good.
Okay.
If you haven't seen it, just go see it. It's a good movie. Better story than the first one. And
Wow.
I watched that movie, and then I also saw Godzilla -1, I think it's called. That was a good one too.
Well, I'm actually glad the Furiosa is good because, yeah, I thought the story was good in the first one. But the reason I brought that up is because I didn't know the first one was filmed where you were born in Namibia.
Yep.
And what was I reading? Was determined to keep it rough, grimy, physically. They need an extremely dry environment, Namibia gets less than 10 millimeters of rain in the Namib desert every year, makes the ecosystem extremely delicate. Oh, that's what I was reading. It's near a national park, so they had to be careful of animals, plants, all that stuff. So there's entry permits were required for all national parks. And nature reserves, protected areas, and national heritage sites. But I thought that was cool, and it makes sense. Like that just looks.
Go back down to that where you saw the national parks and all that. So permits can be obtained at the entrance of these areas. For all other permits, they can be bought at. Okay, so yeah, so see that name Swakopmund?
Yes, right here.
So it's actually not Swakopmund, it's Swakopmund. But yeah, so that was a city that we frequented when we lived in Namibia, and all those dunes and everything that you see, like it's like that. Remember the beach I told you about, where it just goes from like sand dunes, and then on the other side of the road there's a beach and then the ocean.
Crazy.
Yeah, that's Swakopmund.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it's an amazing place.
That's so intense that I get it. These productions cost millions and millions and millions of dollars to make, but all right, let's go film a movie there in parks like that. I'm sure they had to be strict. Wildlife. You don't want, and dude, it's like diesel burning, crazy oil leaking vehicles all over. But someone got paid in the government there. But apparently they didn't film in Namibia in Furiosa, which is wild. I was looking that up too. I don't know exactly where. I should have done my research. But
yeah, and come on.
Oh, Australia. And they did this in 2022, October 2022. Principal photography began from May to October. Wow. Australia. Different places have incentives to film. Remember, film in Georgia was after every Walking Dead episode.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, and as far as Game of Thrones and stuff like that was a lot of New Zealand and Ireland, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Scotland, maybe.
Northern Ireland. How dare you?
Okay, all right.
Start a war over here or continue one. What the heck? Well, no, the north, the wall is Northern Ireland, and you can still go see wow, how dare I not? Castle Black.
Nice.
It's pretty cool.
I'd like to go.
Oh, heck yeah. Let me hear a random fact, co-host.
Did you know this? An octopus has 3 hearts and blue blood. Did you know that?
Yo, welcome to the premium. Download the uplift. Just reading you Snapple facts.
Snapple facts.
No, I did. Well, don't we have blue blood as well?
Nah, our blood's red. It just our veins look blue. There's been multiple theories, but the one that I know is the newest. It's just because of the way that light diffracts in our skin. It makes our blood look blue, but it's really not.
Oh, no way. I always thought once it hits the oxygen, it turns red. That's wild. So that's been disproven, my man.
Yeah. Well, see, it's not just Snapple facts anymore. It's real talk.
Welcome to the education podcast. Let's
Yeah.
go, baby.
No, I heard that whole thing, and when I was a kid, I believed that misconception for like, a year or two or whatever, and then like it's not true. We have red blood. Our blood is red because of our blood cells. Um, and it just looks that way because of the diffraction of light in our skin. Under your skin, it's just really dark. You couldn't even tell it was red if you were in there. So
I've never given blood, but you know what they pay really good money for is to donate plasma. And I was thinking about doing it because not only do you get paid, but also like you're literally helping people. I think, but there's something about tattoos. If you've had a tattoo within 3 months, I looked into it. I was like, dude, listen, you go sit there. I mean, I'm clearly not, well, it's weird. Sometimes I'm afraid of needles, even though I'm covered with tattoos. But you get paid like $100 to sit there for an hour and just give your plasma, and you literally are safe. In some places, like saving lives. I think that's pretty cool. Would you ever do it?
Yeah, for sure. I've met so many people that do that. I think it's even maybe a side gig for them,
side
or a hustle. Yeah.
Wow.
The thing with me is like I've tried to give blood, not to bring it up, but Route 91, I try to give blood at that point. So it's like the tattoo thing is a stipulation, but not only that, being from certain parts of Africa negate you from giving blood. Every time I've read it up, that's the case, and then I'm just like, oh, okay, yeah. If they don't want that, I don't know if there's any caveat to that, but everywhere I've read, it's basically like, yeah, if you're from these places, you can't give blood. So I was like, okay.
Dang. That is cool about octopuses, my guy.
Yeah. Well, I didn't even explain like why they have 3 hearts to begin.
Oh, why do they have 3 hearts?
One heart of the octopus pumps blood throughout the body, which most of their all their organs basically exist in what most people think of as like the head of the octopus, like that flexible bit. And then there's 2 hearts that pump blood to their gills just to get oxygen. So there's 2 hearts dedicated just to get oxygen from there. And if you look up like the anatomy of an octopus, it's so freaky. It's so weird. Like just how everything's set up. I think its hearts are like in the back of its like body, or head thing, whatever you want to call it. I'm sure there's a
I don't know.
I'm sure there's like biologists laughing right now. I can't come up with the names for it, but
what made you come across that and think about octopuses?
Well, I mean, yeah, I just research random stuff, but yeah, like
eyes, skin.
Yeah, look at that. Its hearts are like at the back, at the bottom of it. I never would have even thought of that.
Dude, they're super intelligent. There was a documentary about some dude that like befriended one. Like I would never watch it because it's depressing, but I think he got lost or killed or something. Like who wants to see a sad animal and person love story or whatever, or connection? But
maybe not love story.
But it's they're very intelligent. I think I saw one too and I think they changed colors, and I also saw one go in. It either went into a jar and screwed it on like over his head to protect him from a predator. Like there was a jar and the dude went like slithered in and then used the suckers to like put the lid on and close. He's like, can't get me now, baby. Like that was pretty cool.
I can't remember if this is 100% accurate, but I think their beak is the main thing that's like a restriction on the size of like entrance or like whatever that they can fit through. So yeah, they're incredibly flexible. There was one I saw. It was coming out of the ocean. Like there were these people on a boat. It's coming out of the ocean. There was this tiny like slit, like maybe an inch high, and the entire thing just slid right through it onto the boat deck. So they're crazy.
I have seen that. I think.
Yeah, it was going around like 10 years ago, I think.
Maybe not then. What are those called? I think they're called scuppers or something on the side that those little
Yeah.
holes are. But
Yeah. I
check this.
know they're for getting rid of water on the deck.
Yes, I think comment down below if you're a marine man. Ken, I know you're listening. Scuppers, is that what those are? Yo, check this out. We can't have a week where we don't talk about our boy. So we were talking about how we're going to get to Mars. But so real quick, I know we won't get too in depth because we're already 35 minutes in. And this is going to be a quick one. Check this out. It's pretty cool, like demonstration on how we're going to do it.
This is how the trip would be made. Starship is lifted into orbit by the Super Heavy booster, which then comes back to Earth. It meets up with another Starship, configured as a tanker, in order to refuel in Earth's orbit before making the long journey to the Red Planet. The booster isn't required for the return, since there's no deep gravity well to escape from on Mars. Starship flies solo, fueled by locally produced methane. So the entire Starship system is fully reusable.
That's awesome, man.
How crazy is that? The booster brings it out to orbit, and the booster comes down to Earth. And what's the second one doing? And then they use another booster that brings just extra fuel to that one that's already flying in space. That connects.
So the second one, like they're saying, just a tanker, configured as a tanker. So it has nothing but fuel on it, and it looks like, you know, it meets up some distance away from Earth, and then refuels the starship that's heading to Mars, and then that one comes back. So that's
unbelievable.
Cool. Yeah, it's an awesome solution.
6 months though, 6-month journey. I know we talked all about that, but wow, I know I've seen that a couple times. You see Elon at the bottom is like, yeah, gonna be pretty difficult. Like, but meanwhile, like, I don't know if you've seen, he like plays Shadow Legends and like those like video games. Like, it's wild that, because at the end of the day, I don't care. Like, if you're at that level of a CEO or, you know, because dude, he has like 11 kids, or just, it's crazy to think that, listen, what I did today, I was busy and I worked out. I picked up supermarket, a meal prepped. Like, bro, the fact that your day's full too. Imagine somehow these guys, plus they're running a business. I don't get how they're still getting like 6 hours of sleep and they're able to juggle all of this stuff going on. Maybe we'll have a pod about juggling priorities or something, or time management, but crazy.
Well, it's, you know, it's trying to be efficient with time as well. And regardless of what level you're at, you need some time, like to take a break and play Shadow Legends and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But, not sponsored yet.
Not yet. But, we'll take it though. Streaming's expensive, y'all.
Oh yeah. But no, dude, I'm sure that he still has like not a bunch of time, but a decent amount of time just to, you know, do whatever to decompress and relax and stuff like that. But yeah, like that's delegation. That's like building a team around you, because no one person can do everything. Like Elon Musk is a brilliant dude, but there's also brilliant people in that company.
Like you said, though, a lot of these guys, when it comes to delegation, though, I bet for a lot of them, it's hard to be like, all right, you handle this. You know, that's got to be something they have to work through in their head. Like,
the thing is, like, to grow a company at all, like even to get anywhere close to like any of these businesses that are earning, you know, $1 million plus a year or whatever, like you can't grow a business without delegation.
mm-hmm.
You know, so you if you have it in your head where you're just like, I'm gonna micromanage everything, I'm gonna oversee and have my hand in everything, like there's no way. You know,
Nope.
you need to be looking at the top down the whole time you're running that business, and just make sure that you got really good people that you can trust to do their job, and then you're basically making sure that they're doing their job, and if they're not, then you get other people. But yeah,
and I think they just have to come to peace with it, because you're so right. It's like it's literally impossible. It's like, all right, you could throw your hands up, but you know what would help with that when you're trying to come to peace with that? Journaling.
Yeah, they could journal about it probably, I think.
Yeah. Well, it was wild to hear Ken talk about that. What did he say? He'll just scribble stuff down too. But bro, yeah, I can't read any of the stuff that's in my journal. It helps to write it out, people. I don't care. I don't care if we're on episode 1000, but as a co-host and a fellow runner of Download the Uplift, I just want to let you know that I have no problem delegating editing to somebody. So as soon as we're at that point, you can do it. Enjoy, editor.
Yep.
That's who we're hiring first. Oh my goodness. I
Yeah,
can't
dude.
wait.
And that
Have a blast.
that guy or girl is going to be so much better than we are at editing because that's what they do. So.
Well, dude, I'm literally by the skin of my teeth, and you probably doing that in Pro Tools and stuff. It's like just hop in and learn it, whether it's YouTube. But there's people, those things like Johnny went to school for it, or like videographer or video or editing and stuff, video editing, graphic design and stuff. People go to school for that. I'm just like on YouTube, how to like do probably things like you mentioned masks.
Yeah, but the thing is, honestly, like if you get onto YouTube and you've been doing it for a while and you start to get used to like animating and Premiere and using masks and stuff like that, like everything I've learned is through the internet or YouTube and just doing practical experience.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times, like,
very true.
I'll speak to people who have gone to college for it, and I can keep up pretty well with them, like with the terminology and how to do things.
No, yeah.
And there's some times where even like I've spoken to someone about, I don't know, like 3D animation. I've spoken to someone about using Booleans, a Boolean modifier to sculpt or animate something, and they're just like, yeah, I've never used that. I'm like, oh, okay.
I don't know what that is either, but it sounds cool.
Yeah. Think of Boolean basically like it's yes or no. It's basically two answers that can come from a Boolean equation.
But editing though, I will say this, I think it's cool because like anything, man, like it's kind of when you're learning any new skill, it's good to just have in your repertoire if you ever do need to, like, I don't know, try and use it somehow to make some extra dough. Like, be like, hey, I can kind of cut up your video. Like, but
yeah,
now,
like extra work is always good. That's why I dive into a lot of stuff other than the fact that I'm just interested in it. But then it's also great because when you hire someone or you're working with someone to do those things, then you kind of get it. Like you operate better with people when you understand what their job is.
Yes.
And
wow.
You can also tell like when they're being insincere or lying to you about something, as well as being understanding about why something might take a while to do or why it's maybe delayed or something like that. So
I love that. Yeah. So like if they're kind of dragging their feet as well, like you could watch out for your money. If you're paying them, like, bro, I know it doesn't take this long. So
yeah, for sure. Yeah.
But just so you know, one quick show note, I guess, if it does sound different, another thing I'm adding to with the pod is I put compression and limiter. I always saw these guys do it when in the studio with music and stuff, but I try to do it with the pod. So let me know in the comments how it sounds, if you're liking it, if it should be louder, quieter, if we sound, I don't know. I like it. It's cool. Even that is like a learning thing. When you tweak different knobs, how different we sound. So
yeah.
The only thing that is hard with this last, the Ken episodes is that now it's 3 people. And I think those little limiters or stuff are working as best they can to try and make us all sound the same. But I think it sounds all right from what I've listened to so far. But I know with you and I, we're pretty dialed in. This is the first episode where we're kind of literally, let's go for it. And I like it. I like the flow of it. But one thing that I was interested in is just like, we always have like a certain subject about mental health and stuff, but to get into our subject this week, we gotta introduce our co-one of the week.
Keep it going.
Gary, do us a favor then and read our quote of the week with our new cool software. Once again, StreamYard. Go ahead and sponsor us, StreamYard. This is our quote of the week. I'll hand it off to you, brother.
All right. Quote of the week. Mental health needs a great deal of attention. It's the final taboo, and it needs to be faced and dealt with. Adam Ant. That's good. I
Your
like it.
thoughts?
I think it's good. Yeah. So we were kind of talking about the subject, and the quote of the week's like, it's the final taboo. I don't know if it's the final one, because there's probably a lot of taboos out there. But this day and age, a lot more people are talking about, just having a good mental state of being and a good mindset and everything. Yeah, exactly. State of mind.
That's what we're calling this one. It's state of mind, the current state of where we're at. And I thought we've never really addressed it. But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, it's definitely important, right? And I think that things these days, it's a newer thing that people are focusing on. So, it can go in so many different directions. I don't think we've quite figured out, like, the proper ways of dealing with it and all that other stuff. Obviously, throughout all the generations and stuff like that, people have been there for each other. But just like talking about it in a more kind of official way, and saying that, it's important, addressing it as a society, instead of, just being there individually for people. It's definitely like a step forward. Can it be overanalyzed? I think it can sometimes.
Oh yeah.
Can it be underappreciated? Yeah, I think so as well. I think there's a happy medium that will eventually fall into, where people won't make it, their whole lives trying to, be like, I need to have a good mental frame of mind, and just kind of go on living their lives. But then when they need something more official to really help them out with what's going on upstairs, like that's needed. That needs to be addressed for sure. So, what do you think?
Let me see this thing. I thought it was cool because it said it's the final. Mental health needs a great deal of attention. Okay. It's the final taboo, and it needs to be faced and dealt with. And I say taboo because of that, I feel like they're talking to the people that, like, I got other things to worry about than journaling and meditation and talking about my feelings. You know what I mean? I think that's what they mean by taboo, because it's kind of like people that don't want to face it. And I'm not gonna lie, bro. Like there's times where I'm like, bro, what am I putting out there on my Friday videos? Because I'm like, literally things to work on yourself, and it feels a little awkward, but in my heart, I feel like it's good information, and I think that it's stuff that should be talked about. But I'll wear my heart on my sleeve, saying it does feel weird talking about this stuff, but I also don't think there's anything wrong with it. I also think, have you noticed that, bro, every kind of media that you absorb has BetterHelp as like a sponsor?
Yeah.
It's crazy, dude. We'll take one too, BetterHelp.
Yeah. I was actually just talking to a coworker about that. He was just mentioning, like, he has a friend who's a psychiatrist or psychologist, who is purely online. Like all their clients are online. So I was just like, oh, do they do BetterHelp, or like what platform are they on? And he was actually saying that they're probably on their own platform. But yeah, it's everywhere. BetterHelp is the main one. Talkspace is the other big one that I've heard.
Oh, I haven't heard of that.
Yeah, it's not. They don't advertise as much as BetterHelp. BetterHelp's like on that game with the YouTube ads and everything.
It's unbelievable. Like, they're investing a lot of money, but it's like, okay, like exactly what you said. Like, is everyone? I don't know, because I hate to use the word balance again, but it's so true. I think there's some people that are too in their heads, but there's other people that aren't looking at themselves enough. And it's weird. Yeah. And I wrote, like, where are we at right now, USA, and what is it like over in Australia or Europe, or in places where they're worried about what they're going to eat, so they don't even they don't care about how they're feeling.
I mean, here's the thing, right? Everyone has the immediate problems that they're facing, right? So obviously, if you're worried about food, you're worried about water, shelter, all that stuff, like that takes precedent over anything. And the other thing about that, in a lot of ways, it's like, when you're talking about survival and you're in a tight knit community and stuff like that, you depend on the people around you. And what I think happens in like large cities and stuff like that is you don't experience that tight knit kind of thing. And some people, probably might feel like more alone or whatever, and it's a completely different problem. One person's on the one end of struggling, and it's very real struggles, like fighting for food, water, shelter, all that stuff. It's like it's immediate survival, right? But then you have the opposite end of someone has that and stuff, and they're just in a environment in a big city or whatever, where maybe them personally, they just don't feel like anyone really cares, or they have other types of issues going on, and in a lot of ways, like I think we're geared towards trying to put ourselves into better situations. And so like once you take care of the survival aspect of things, now you're like, well, I really would like to, have friends and and meet someone that I can be in a relationship with. And that becomes like your more daily problems and stuff like that. All of what I just said isn't to like compare the two or say like one's greater than the other. Obviously, immediate survival is paramount. So I'd say that it's a bigger struggle than people who are dealing with other more like socially based problems. But I mean, the bottom line is the stuff going on in your head, and then the stuff that we deal with throughout our lives through socializing with other people, through interacting, being a part of society. Those things can really, really, really affect someone in a negative way. And so, yeah, like to them, it's a huge issue. And yeah, I mean that in all sincerity.
So I pulled up where Mental Health America, 21% of adults experience a mental illness, equivalent to 50 million Americans. Okay, here's the thing about like stats like this, though. I mean, how do they know? Are you polling people? Hey, excuse me, I know you're on your way to work, but are you feeling pretty good mentally? Like, I guess these 1 in 10 youth with private insurance. Oh, well, here's another thing. So we talk about BetterHelp. Even BetterHelp is expensive, dude. Listen, they have promo codes and stuff, but unless you're using insurance, and God bless if you have a full-time job. But if you're paying out of pocket, dude, like even for like the low man without all the degrees, it's like at least 100 to 150 for the session, which is usually about an hour. I think I went to one last year. He was cool, but he's more like a work counselor than like an emo dude. And I felt like I needed an emo dude. But then what kind of got me into start like, all right, well, I don't want to spend all this money. How can I work on myself? Like if you're in a certain place, once again, we're just guys on the internet, seek whatever help you need. But luckily, there are ways for you to work on yourself. And that's what a lot of the solo videos, that's what a lot of Dane and I, the second part of our pods, are about. Is like there are ways for you to be able to, work on yourself, because these pros, man, especially you mentioned online, it's cool. I liked it, but I like going in person.
Yeah, and a lot of people do, right? Yeah. But I think what makes the online stuff pretty good is that it's accessible to people who are extremely busy, or people who might have apprehension with it, who just kind of want to try it out
100%
and not have this like full commitment where I'm going face to face with this person and trying to tell them some stuff that I don't want to tell anyone else. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, I just got chills. That's so true.
Yeah.
Like if you're hesitant to even address the issue, and then you took that, which can be a courageous leap, to be like, all right, I'm going to go talk to someone. At least you're in your home. You might have like your pup around you and stuff. And it's like a safety net almost, kind of.
Yeah.
Because when you go, you're in a new lobby. What's the bathroom going to be like? Is this guy going to be a weirdo? Is there someone in the lobby that sees me coming in? Like, and a lot of them, they all have like white noise generators outside the door because.
Yeah, it's privacy and all that. And you can, for better or worse, you can think about your responses a little bit. If you're doing like the text kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I'm not a psychiatrist, so I don't know if that works better or worse for them, because I know sometimes they're trying to like really get you to spill the beans in a way for things that you might not want to talk about, and they try and get that out of you in a way that is comfortable for you to do so. But I think the great thing about it, whether you're trying to help yourself out or you're trying to seek like professional help or whatever, which all valid, and people should do that. And definitely, if you're going through a lot of stuff in your head, like, you definitely need to talk to someone about it and get the help you need. But I think the best thing about it is just people are understanding more and more that it's important to focus on it a little bit, right? At the very least, a little bit. And just to acknowledge some things that, like, if you're not actively paying attention to how your thought processes are going and your behaviors and stuff like that, if you don't actively sort of try and control that and bring it in, some people do that naturally. Some people need to actually, like, turn around and say, yeah, I need to start doing this. But it'll get out of hand eventually. So that's something that I think is better these days, is like people are more willing to accept that, and it's easier to be open about that, which is good. Help people out.
I've said it before, like maybe on my solo videos, but I mean this sincerely. Whatever is best for you is best for you. Like, just wherever you think you need to be, whether it's in person, BetterHelp, listening to Download the Uplift, journaling, meditate, whatever you think. But I think just like acknowledging you have something going on is, even if it's just internally, is half the battle right there. Like, man, I've been this last freaking month, I've been freaking really bumming out, and like being able to say that to yourself, like if that's your case or something like that, or man, I've been really like, overindulging on something. I don't know, whatever you want to work on. If you can admit to yourself that things need to change, I think that's a huge part of, improving, my dude, improving.
No, for sure. Yeah. And, regardless of what it is, because, like we said earlier, like, could it sometimes be overanalyzing? And,
oh yeah.
And, like, I think that's like something that will probably be talked about more and more as time goes on, where it's like, are you overanalyzing to the point where you're starting to create problems? Like, you're thinking of like everything you do, and you're like, is this right? Is this wrong? Instead of just living, and I think really for me, my approach to trying to like fix any habit or change any kind of mental aspect of like how I think about things and how I do things is to just ultimately get back to the point where I'm just living my life and I'm not thinking about it. Like, that's the ultimate goal.
Super healthy.
Not thinking about it every day, just making those habits and then living my life. And then when something needs to be addressed, like, go back to it and work on it again. But yeah, I mean, just me personally, some people might be like, yeah, I focus on it every single day and I'm strict and all that stuff. There's different things that work for different people, but I like to sort of be free about it, and then every once in a while, like, think about it and try and make those changes.
I heard today While I was doing my meal prep, I was listening to someone else's. I consume a lot of podcasts.
Nice.
But he said,
Good thing to do when you run a podcast.
right? Well, he was talking about that how much phones and technology are really affecting, especially the young bloods in this country. Did you know that there's some parents that are giving their kids smartphones as early as 6 years old? That's freaking crazy to me. And their excuse is, oh, well, just in case I need to find them. First of all, where would they be if they're 6? Like, I think of my nieces. I think they're both over 6 now, but dude, I know I usually know what room they're in, let alone, and you know what I mean, when I'm visiting them. To think like, oh, they better have a smartphone. Like, I know kids have tablets and it's disconnected from the world, and it's, you know, let's have fun, watch videos, games, whatever. But when I saw that and heard that, I was like, yo, things need to be addressed.
Yeah, oh, it's a completely different world that we live in. I played with Legos and you know, action figures and stuff like that, and I'm sure kids do that today as well. But yeah, like, I don't necessarily agree with, like, for my kids, I don't think I'd be giving them like a tablet or a phone or whatever. I just want them to like be more tactile and interactive and stuff like that. And I know they set up the tablets to, like, you know, play games and stuff like that. I think that's great in ways, because you're getting your kids like used to interacting with computers, and that's what the future is computers and games and stuff like that. And things are going to become more game like, I think, over the course of decades. But yeah, it's just, I don't see me doing that, you know, because I think it's important to make sure that your kids are up to scratch with technology, but it's also important to make sure that they're just, you know, playing around in the mud and, you know, just being kids and going outside and being active and stuff like that. So
that was an interesting point though that you made, because he brought that up too. If they are going to be introduced to technology, at least you are doing it, if that is the case, because eventually it's going to happen. Rather you as the parent than, once again, neither of us have kids yet, but rather you as the parent are introducing them to it. But it's cool. Like Ken, and I know some parents, the tablet, it's like a treat. It's on a timer. It's like, okay, you can use it for a half hour, as opposed to, unfortunately, man, like when you read stuff like, look at how my notes are now, it's on a calendar paper. But some parents, unfortunately, when either it's a tablet or these 6-year-olds with cell phones or whatever, or up, it's probably just a way to get them out of your hair, which is like, bro, it's a bummer. I get it. We all need breaks, and I don't know what it's like to have kids yet. But yeah, and I like that, using it as a reward system. I think that makes way more sense. Oh
yeah, but you know, at the same time, when I was growing up with my brother, like we'd go off into the backyard and stuff like that, and just, you know, play games, and where we really didn't bug our parents that much, you know?
Right.
But and we'd, you know, play with Legos, we'd build things, we'd, you know, I don't know, just get creative with like how we were playing and stuff like that. So I mean, one, having a brother it's good. It's a great thing to grow up with and be able to spend that time together. But yeah, it's I don't know. I just can't see that I do that at that much of a young age. But you know, I'd probably look at like getting a phone at maybe 10 years old, and maybe a tablet, maybe, you know, sometime after that or whatever. But definitely like a computer. I really want to introduce my kids to a computer and like
start learning to code, kid.
Yeah.
Bring in the bacon. This roof ain't free.
Nah, well, look, at this rate, it's learn how to use AI.
100%. Oh, dude. By the time we have little ones that know what's going on, AI is already we're gonna be like slaves to AI by then. Like,
I mean,
work humans.
AI for the most part makes pretty horrible code. but it still kind of
Right
works.
now it does.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. By that time, for
Yeah.
sure.
We'll be
It'll
on episode like 1,000 by then. And we're like, hey, remember when AI wasn't good at coding? And it's going to be like, what did you say? Listen.
Yeah.
I love how I talk like this. But
Understandably so that AI is bad at coding because, it hasn't become sentient yet where it can just like
we're cool with you, AI.
Yeah.
ChatGPT, you help with DTU a lot, man. We're cool. I always like, hey, thanks a lot. You're awesome. It's like, you too. Good luck on the podcast tonight. And like, I'm on good terms. Or like Siri or Alexa, we're cool. I always say, Alexa, thanks for all your info. Oh, she's not going to answer. But
wow. She knows. She knows.
We are going to get you out of here soon. I know you got stuff to do. I want you to check this out.
One thing on AI. I don't mean to bring this up, right?
Here we go.
We all know certain events have happened with certain president or candidate.
Mm-hmm.
So when I was looking up some like stuff on YouTube, and I happened to like come across this live stream that was like Elon Musk talks about what happened with Trump.
Mm-hmm.
And I clicked on it and I was like, okay, like let me just see this. And it was this video that I believe wholeheartedly was made by AI. It had something like when I logged on to it initially, it was like 30,000 people on it.
Mm-hmm.
It grew to like 275,000 people at one point. And it was just Elon Musk's voice and a video of Elon Musk going like, blah, 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 with his mouth. And it was like, just scan this QR code and donate Bitcoin and you will receive twice the amount of Bitcoin. And he just kept going on about that.
Yikes.
And I was like, is this for real? Like this kind of thing is happening this quickly. Like they're trying to scam people. Because it had to be a scam. Like the mouth wasn't synced up. And I don't think Elon Musk would be talking for 2 hours saying the same sentence over and over again. And like audience members were asking him questions.
What does it have to do with the assassination attempt?
Nothing. The thing is, they made this live stream video to get people to scan a QR code to give them Bitcoin. And they're just like, what's hot right now? Trump and Elon Musk.
That's how they got people in to watch it.
They baited people. Yeah. And I swear,
times, man.
I swear, if it's not AI, if it wasn't like a deep fake voice and it was actually Elon Musk, I'd be shocked. It's crazy that we're dealing with that these days. Like I like, who knows if anyone fell for it. But just we're running scams like that where it's on YouTube, like it's the second thing that comes up when I looked up that search.
Dang.
And it's got like 275,000 people watching it.
So. Oh, then somebody that QR code that probably infects your phone with something too. Oh
yeah.
Dude, what is the world gonna be like, man? In like freaking 5 years, dude. This is, it's crazy. I had one thing. I was like, dude, do you also feel that? And I'm going to use the word vibe because I'm cool with it these days. Do you feel like just the vibe right now is just weird? It's off, like just with everything that's going on. Like,
oh yeah,
I wholeheartedly think stuff just is weird right now. I know it's so vague, but I literally made a note. Vibe is wild,
weird
all around. Is something going down? ? That's what I wrote. But I know. Listen, we're not gonna leave you on that. We're gonna leave you on a positive note.
Yeah, just 90-degree turn.
That's it, baby. That's what we do. We uplift.
I'm choking here. I'm falling apart, man.
Check out how cool this is. All
right, let's see it.
This is a store. I think it's in Europe. Because by the plates, you can't get into this store. If you're watching on Spotify or YouTube, you can watch along with us. It's a sliding glass door is the entry to a business, and you can't open it unless you smile. Because I think, and I know that I'm sure it's something scientific that when you smile, your brain and laugh and stuff like that, your brain chemistry changes and you get in a better mood. So, get a free coffee. Miles, this guy, you can tell, loving it. I thought that was cool. I don't know.
Yeah.
I kind of like the idea of that.
Yeah, no, it's all and yeah, like like you were talking about, like the painkillers and stuff. Like your receptor is that physiological function is similar to like actual like physical pain and stuff like that.
Mhm.
Not that emotional pain is not actual pain, but yeah, you get what I mean. Yeah. So like your facial expressions, your posture, like everything influences your state of mind, and you can totally, well, not totally in all cases, but in most cases, you can turn around your mood pretty quickly just by like smiling or interacting with someone and having a bit of like positivity. Maybe they give you a compliment or something, and just it kind of changes the whole day. So,
or listening to Download the Uplift. Either way, guys, this was one of the more fun episodes we've done in a while, but we still hit some cool stuff. Dane worked a full day of work, recorded an hour and a half on a podcast, and now he's going to work. And then tomorrow morning, going to work. Iron sharpens iron, bro. You're a boss for getting all this done and staying with the DTU team. I love it, man. I love where we're going, and I sincerely mean that. And it's a fight, bro. A lot of people would have quit after week 4. It's like, I don't have $1 million yet. I'm good. This is a freaking grind, bro. But Dane, was there anything else?
If you see any AI and stuff like that that's trying to scam you, or you see something that's kind of off, just don't do it. Like someone's asking you, like, scan this barcode, send me Bitcoin, whatever. If it's too good to be true, it's too good to be true, right?
Yes.
That's the positive thing about it. Even though we're living in times where things can get sketchy with like AI and deep fakes, right? Just go with your gut instinct. If it's too good to be true, leave it alone, right?
That's all things, by the way.
Yeah. Figuring out success and having that success on your own, even if people might say like, you're growing far too slow, like you're getting nowhere or whatever it is, like growing and really setting those building blocks up, and the foundation for like a business or your skill set or like whatever it might be to start growing wealth and building a lifestyle for yourself. That is, invest in yourself. That is the most solid investment you'll ever make. Don't chase these scams. So that's all I want to say.
Man, bro, I'm telling you, that new the new hairstyle, freaking. Listen to my co-host, bro. Ooh, damn, we need to start making T-shirts. We gotta take over the world, man. That's great advice. Great advice. And real talk. Believe in yourself. Download the Uplift audience. But Dane, was there anything else?
You're like an old Looney Tunes cartoon.
I feel like episode 1. Lisa, don't think so.
Yeah.
Menace.
Well, that's Looney. Yeah. The Duel of Fates.
What's that?
That's the song you were just singing.
Really? I was like, I thought it was called The Phantom Menace, but
no, the movie is called The Phantom Menace, but that song's called The Duel of Fates.
Oh, great song. Dun, dun, dun.
You want to know why it's called The Duel of Fates?
Please tell us before we get you out of here.
Because Qui-Gon was not just battling Darth Maul to defeat a Sith, right? He was battling for Anakin's future. That's why it's Duel of Fates. If Qui-Gon failed, if he died, then he wouldn't be able to train Anakin and raise him the way that he wanted to.
Yeah, we know how that happened. How that ended up.
Well, we ended up with episode 4 through 6. So good movies.
But Dane, was there anything else?
If you feel like you're traveling to the dark side, just remember your training, and remember some of the Jedi teachings are probably a little bit too strict. Just be yourself. Maybe live on the edge of like dark and light. Who knows?
Hey, if Samuel Jackson says you're no good, don't listen to him. You got what it takes.
You know what? Get a purple lightsaber.
That'll do it. Well, ladies and gents, I hope you guys had fun because I know we sure did. This was Download the Uplift, a place where when we fall, we try and uplift you. Thank you so much for listening. We'll catch you next Monday with an all-new Download the Uplift podcast. Next Friday at 11 a.m. Central, an all-new Gabriel Mark solo video. And soon on Wednesdays, every so now and then, we're going to have Dane with a lovely Dane solo video. Who knows what's cooking? We're just chef and Top Chef. 60 seconds on the clock. Thank you again for listening to Download the Uplift. We'll catch you next time.
See ya. Thanks for tuning in.